Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, what has happened is just so crazy. To all Jamaicans, whether you were born Jamaican parents, you have lived there, you have been there, to all the people who love Jamaica, this was all planned. Ladies and gentlemen, when the corona broke out, I was the first one who came with it. You can look up the video. And I saw exactly what was going to happen. All right. They kind of shifted because it was supposed to happen in New York in December 29. And it so happens that I recognize and I see the pattern. I did a video. The video was the dragon is going home to Saturn. I don't know, a lot of you who followed me, if this is the first time, I have been on YouTube for 10 years. I do readings. I used to do private readings, but I stopped. All right. My heart broke to see what happened to Jamaica. I can only, say to the people who had this plan, because this was planned, that, thanks for less casualty, because it was planned. The thing I love about Jamaicans is that Jamaicans are always just very funny. They will laugh at things. And if you know a Jamaican, and, people can say they're Jamaican, but you're not really Jamaican if you are not a part of the culture and know the roots of this country and this island. I think it's one of the most beautiful islands. I've been to all the islands in the Caribbean, and I think Jamaica is one of the most beautiful islands. And if you have never been there, you should go, okay? It has everything to it. It has all that you're looking for when you go on a vacation. And my heart, like a part of my soul, is actually on that island. And the reason why is because my gifts that I have to do with that island. Okay. And if it wasn't that island, you would have not known me. I would just have been a normal person. But that island has given me the gift that I have. What a lot of people do not understand is that Jamaicans are very gifted. They see things, they feel things, and the reason why, once you're born on that island, because of where the island is linked in the Caribbean Sea, there is crystalline, okay? So if you notice, there's Jamaicans in every country in the world. That is one group of people that you can find in every country in the world. Jamaicans are very, very proud people. Jamaicans are, their culture, they love their culture. They are such friendly people. They're helpful, they're kind. In every culture, there's good and bad. But I can tell you this because I've been, and, I feel it. And as I said, my heart broke. And the reason why my heart broke is that Jamaica will never be the Jamaica that it was. All right. There was an agreement that was signed that Jamaica is going to become one of the smart cities. A lot of you Jamaicans were in Jamaica. You were never aware of this. But there was an agreement, and they have signed off that in 2030, Jamaica will be one of the smart city. So it has its positive and its negative. The positive part is that you Jamaicans are going to be the only smart city in the Caribbean islands. So that is the positive part about it. But on the other side, I'm asking, because I know you guys are listening to me, because you guys had expected me to tell the Jamaicans what was going to happen. But as you can go back and look at my reading, because I said I don't want to do any prediction, because the fire was in LA and I was in America, and the fire was in LA, and I said I don't want to do any more prediction because there's going to be more coming up. And my thing, Jamaicans, why I never advise you, our thing, we were trying to protect the casualty on the island. So a lot of us as star workers, star seeds, we are here to protect certain energies on this planet. We're not supposed to intervene. All we can do, we can ask the higher councils and the people who decide to do what they want to do for less casualty. Okay. So, as I said, the agreement was already made. Okay. And it is done. All I'm asking the people for, because Jamaica will never be the Jamaica ever again. The Jamaica that I knew as a child, the Jamaica that, I've been, it's like every 8 years I have to go just to revitalize my energy. It will never be the same Jamaica after this. And my thing is that my heart broke because, Jamaicans, you have always been very proud. I can remember in 1979-80 when the U.S. government asked you guys to be the 52 star on the flag. You denied. You don't want to. And I do understand it's because Jamaicans are proud people and they want to stand on their own and do whatever they want to do. They like to build for themselves. They don't like handouts, okay? If you Jamaicans who grew up in New York in the 80s, it was always known that Jamaicans have 8 jobs. And that was true. Jamaicans are hardworking people. And they work and they go back to the island and they build their houses and they, retire for pension. That's a normal thing for Jamaicans. I think most Caribbean islands, but for Jamaica, that is a normal thing. The Jamaicans, after many years in America, they go back because America and Jamaica, they have a kind of a thing there. I was one of these people that was blessed to be connected to the Jamaican culture. I know the language, which I'm grateful for. I can't speak it properly, but I do know the language. And most of my early days was, growing up there, I was very, very, I now understand. And I remember I went to somewhere in South America and they told me why I was born where I was born. Otherwise, I wouldn't have my gift. And my heart broke because there's so many changes that is going to be coming up for you guys. And all the tourists that is there complaining and complaining. Have you ever asked one of the people who works there, take me to your house. Let me see how you live. No. So a lot of you tourists can sit there and complain and complain. The problem is that Jamaica is a small island. The infrastructure is that if they don't have a job, they have no food to eat. Okay. So you go there as a tourist, you don't know the lifestyle and whatever these people have. A lot of people need to get this out of their heads. Jamaicans are not poor people, okay? And I would like for you people to, whenever you're going to make videos and you're going to be making documentaries about Jamaica, you go to the worst and the ghetto parts of Jamaica, and that is not Jamaica, okay? All right? That is really not Jamaica, because a lot of people think Jamaica is poor. It's not a poor country. All right. And, the thing about it is that what I don't understand is that some people have this thing to think if you were born in a country that you are dark or stupid, or and it is that we, as a race of people, we need to let go of that, because that is just stupid. Okay, there is a lot of educated Jamaicans. Okay, you can see that what's her name that won for president in America, her parents are also Jamaican. Jamaica and America have always long have this very good relationship. As long as I've been in both of the countries, so I understand the history of both countries. And my sadness is that what had happened and the storm, because I don't know, I think half of the world is sleeping. Ladies and gentlemen, normally, if the storm came in August, then you would recognize when a storm built in a certain area, because the Caribbean Sea is warm. Okay, that's why you don't really have tsunamis in the Caribbean Sea, but tsunamis can happen. But you really have tsunami in the Caribbean Sea. Now, when a storm or a hurricane is created, what you have to look at is the speed. And especially when a storm or hurricane is created in the Caribbean Sea, you got to look at, and if you go back years and you watch the storm and you watch how that goes, it always loses its energy. Okay, so a storm and a hurricane built up with a certain sort of a energy, okay, and it goes, but it start breaking energies as it goes over a country, okay? Because remember, if you look at the Caribbean, Jamaica is one of the smallest islands, okay? Then you have Haiti and Dominican Republic, then you have Cuba. So we're just looking at the east-winded islands, okay? Because you have the west-winded islands, all right? Because a lot of people, I think a lot of people are not educated. And I get very upset when people insult my intelligence, or when people get not knowing what they're all about, not knowing a certain part of the world and how things run. And then they get very, and that is what and why I use my channel to help people to understand, because I recognize that some of us is not really understanding certain things. When you look at the island of Jamaica, it's one of the islands with these people. Because if you look and you come back and you look at history, Jamaicans were never, ever slaves. And a lot of people is not aware of that. And a lot of people do not know about Nanny the Maroon, Marcus Garvey, because Marcus Garvey had worked with Dr. Martin Luther King. But the people of Jamaica and their ancestrals, Jamaica is a multicultural, okay? And a lot of people is not even aware of how multicultural Jamaica is. And the similarities, I think, between Jamaica and Suriname is the two countries that have basically the same similarities with food, culture, that sort of a thing. And what a lot of people are not aware of, Jamaicans were never slave. When the black ones, because there was always Arawak Indians on the island, and then came the Irish, the Scottish, they brought the Chinese over, they brought the Indians over. The Indians couldn't work the field, so they got the slaves, okay? But when the slave went to the islands, the slave said to them, listen, we're going to be doing this border. I work for you, but you have to pay me with food or anything there. A lot of people are not aware of certain things and certain background and history of the island of Jamaica. It is one of the most powerful islands. And the people, the Jamaicans and the Cubanians, they have crystalline in their bodies. So if you recognize, if you meet a Jamaican or a Cubanian, it doesn't really matter where, you always have a sort of a connection with these people because they have crystalline. And not only that, Atlantis, where Jamaica and Cuba is, there was where Atlantis has sunk. Okay, so a lot of things are going to be opening up. And today I'm doing this the 29th because I hope that the World Health Organization is already landed there because they were supposed to fly in. I have been watching this and I've been watching this for a very long time. And I didn't want to explain to the Jamaican why this have to happen. It was written in history, okay? We can change it. I can change it. The only thing I can do as a spiritual person being on this planet is to ask for less casualty. And of course, we got less casualty because there was around seven people who died. But if you look at the catastrophe of the Highland, okay? And the thing about it, I should advise you guys, is that the Highland is going to be rebuilt because Kingston is going to become a smart city. And for the rest of people who don't know what Kingston is the capital of Jamaica. There is two capital. Actually, there was three capital. In the 18th century, so that there was Spanish Town. And then when the English win the war from the Spanish, because Jamaican would have actually speak Spanish, because the Spanish Revolution was also there. This is why Cuba speaks Spanish, Dominican Republic speaks Spanish, and if you notice, the other side of Dominican Republic, Haiti, they speak French, okay? So if you recognize, it was the colonized who the English had fought with the Spaniards and win and run the Spaniards out of Jamaica. If you notice, all the names in Jamaica was named by Spaniards, okay? So you have Ocho Rios, which is the 8th river. You have Clarendon, you have Spanish Town, you have Manchester. These are all inherited name from Spaniards, but Manchester is from the English because they changed the names. So a lot of us do not understand, because a lot of people all over the world, they see Jamaicans and think that Jamaicans drink coconut water and wear grass skirt or whatever. You know, people, educate yourselves, okay? It is one of the most educated people in the Caribbean. And a lot of people is not aware of that. This whole situation that has transpired when we're talking about how a hurricane and a storm is built up in the Caribbean Sea. If you look, ladies and gentlemen, at the way Melissa came, she built up, she created herself, she built up speed, and she came with the eye of an 8. Listen, that there's so much less casualty. It could have been worse, okay? It really could have been worse. Because if you see how the wind take off the houses and that sort of a thing, it could have been much worse. And that is why I'm saying to whoever you people are, which I don't want to get involved, you make your decision. And thank you for not having so much casualty. This was all planned, ladies and gentlemen. Jamaica is going to be one of the smart city in 2030. Okay? The documents, the papers, everything was all set. LA, Jamaica. And the reason why Jamaica is because they are aware of where Jamaican live and why. Okay? There's always a reason why. So what has been happening the last 20 years in Jamaica is that there have been certain groups of people who they let in to do their darkness witchcraft. Jamaica, where it's set, it's on a port. It is on the opening, okay? It is on a frequency of energy that is around that island. This is why when people go to Jamaica, they fall in love with Jamaica and they fall in love and they feel refreshed when they return because of where Jamaica is linked in the Caribbean Sea, okay? And this is why a lot of Jamaicans are highly gifted and highly spiritual. It's, you guys know Jamaica as being where the Rastaman is, but that is the reason why, because Jamaicans on a whole, their diet is absolutely amazing. Okay, that island brings so much energy within you as a person. If even you feel, stressed out and whatever, being on that island, just laying down in the sun or whatever. And this is why I always say to a lot of people, when you go on vacation, don't stay in your all-inclusive hotel. Mingle with the people, go out, because everybody always like, well, Jamaica is this and Jamaica is that. It depends on what you're looking for and what you go there to find. Okay, so my example to you guys is that go back and look at all the hurricane. When you look at Melissa, and I've been watching this, and I was like, no, something is wrong here. A storm or a hurricane, because if it was not created like 500 kilometers from the shores of Jamaica, no, it was created and it came with that same speed, pressure, 500 winds per hour. That is a whole lot. It was created to do that, because you can't build a city on a city that is already there. Okay, and I'm sorry to advise you Jamaicans that I don't know how you guys are going to be dealing with this. You guys are always people who, fight for your rights, and but I don't really think that you basically have a say. The country will be rebuilt, but I don't think that you guys are going to be having that power that you had before, because I know you guys are proud people. You hold on whatever you have. I myself had a place there, and I sold, I got it, and I sold it because I don't go there very often. And it was left to me from my parents, because it has a deep connection with my parents, myself, my family. And we have always gone there when we were children. We're always, it has a place in our heart, and it has a piece of my soul. And, when you look at that hurricane, there is no hurricane that goes so brutal with that force. So obviously, in order to build another city, you gotta create these things. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, but a lot of people don't want to see the truth of things. But it is already there in documents. Just go and search for it. The vision of 2030. That is the new smart city. That is, and the thing about it is that in life everything is good and bad. Okay, there is the polarity of good and bad, and it depends on who you are and where you are in your life, where you see things and you see through the illusions of things. Okay, I think a lot of people does that. I think a lot of people had expected more casualty, but there's higher powers to everything. Okay, there's always be higher powers to everything in life, and there are people that you have to answer to. Okay, is it going to be bad or good? Everything has polarity of bad and good. But all I'm saying, whoever, because I know you guys are watching me, please try and help the people. Okay, creating this smart cities, you need to use Jamaicans to train them. Okay, because Jamaicans, you can't really, escape from this. It was already planned. Okay, everything is planned. And I knew that it was coming. And if you guys look at when I was in America doing, because I never really did the thing there, and I was having this thing, and I said there is more disasters that is going to be coming in, and I know that this is going to be happening, and I know more that is about to come, that is catastrophe. But I think that all of the because there's a lot of us as spirituality, star seed or whatever, we see the future. So we are aware of what is going to be coming up. We feel it in our energy. We go to sleep. And a lot of you who are healers of the planet, I'm asking more of you to go through the dream time, to go and help with the situation in Jamaica, because a lot of people do not know that some people work through their sleep times. They go to different places and help. Okay. So that's why some people can just wake up and is still very tired. It's because some people have a job to do when they go to sleep, because when you go to sleep, your body is there, but your spirit goes to different places. It depends on who you are, what you were sent to this planet to do. And I think that's the reason, because I remember I called my cousin this morning and I said, Jamaica is wiped off the planet. I said, have you seen the disaster? And she goes, what are you crying for? It's not happening to our family. And I said, yes, I know, but my heart is broken. You have to see how devastated this is. I don't know when it's going to be rebuilt. I know they will rebuild it. And she goes, well, stop crying, because none of our family is there. And why are you crying? We can help the people from here. I don't know, but ladies and gentlemen, I was saying to like a lot of people, I was saying I have not felt so heartbroken in a very long time. But just to see, and I think Jamaica, I don't know if all the people who have ever been to Jamaica, it is something about the energy. It's something about getting off that plane, stepping on the ground and driving to wherever you're going, and the sea and the wind and the coconut water and it's just funny, and the people talk and it gives you a self of, whoa, yeah, this is what you call, vacation. And I remember I went with my girlfriend, and she said, oh my God, every time you come to Jamaica with me, you're always so quiet from the airport. And it's because the energy is just something that I kind of revitalized myself. Like every 8 years, I have to go, because of the frequency and energy on that planet. And my heart, my soul, I have such, my soul is connected, because I wasn't even aware of it until I think I went to some place, and this man said to me, you could have never, if you were born somewhere else, it was the plan of the universe for you to born where you were born, because of you getting your psychic gifts. If you were born somewhere else, you would not have gotten it. And then I start to understand certain things in my life, why I was there, why I was, and I'm glad that what Jamaica gave me, this is something I will carry my entire life, because of the spirituality that I have. That was awakening me, that I can use it to help humanity. And a lot of Jamaica is aware of what I'm talking about, because even people who have Jamaican parents but wasn't born there and that sort of a thing, you do understand that thing about Jamaica when you touch down on the airplane, and it's about something that nobody else understands. Okay, only if you have a spiritual connection with a place, and that is just so powerful. What I want to advise you Jamaicans is that it's not going to be the same. whoever assigned that documents, whoever, gave up Jamaica. And I think it's not a matter of giving up Jamaica. They know what Jamaica have. Okay. And that is the reason why it's going to be a smart city. But all I'm asking, whoever the developer and all you people behind it, you need to train Jamaicans also. You need to help them, because Jamaica is in the middle of the Caribbean. There is nothing else around there. These people are just, so when I go there, I will, I don't know, but I have a connection. Just the people are beautiful, that they can be. So please, everything is about profit, 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 but it's about using this island to be a smart city. But there's going to be more, because they're going to be doing a lot of things. But, with everything, ladies and gentlemen, it is dualities. Okay. I don't know how the Jamaicans are going to take this. I'm asking people worldwide to help in whatever way you can. I know all the Jamaicans in America and Canada and that sort of a thing in England. I know they will always, because even if you have Jamaican parents or you have people, they love Jamaica. Jamaica is something that you cannot lose that feeling of that island. Okay, it has to do with the energy and the frequency on that island, and it's because it has crystalline. I kind of wish I never told it, but I was watching and following. There's a Jamaican guy. I think he's Jamaican, and he is. He gives a whole lot what was coming up, and he did said, and I knew it, but what we knew that was going to happen, it was going to be very devastated. Okay. And a lot of people do not know what it is to be spiritual. And a lot of people do not know what it means to be working for and doing the right thing. Most of us is always in prayer. Okay. Praying for, exchanging the frequency of energy so that something will not come out with more casualty. Okay. This is why this earthquake that is going to be happening, that is going to be ripping from LA to Canada, to Toronto, Canada. This is why it's been delay, because we know the catastrophe that is going to be happening. So there are crystalline children, rainbow, name it. They are trying to break the casualty, because it's going to be a whole lot of casualty. So we as spiritual people or star seeds, whatever is happening and transpiring, we can't make changes to anything. Okay. And that was what I told you guys, that I met a couple and they knew who I was in a past lifetime, and they wanted me to change their destiny so that they had not to deal with their karmas. And I said, no. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people do not understand. There are people who works with low frequency energy, and they are people that, okay, so you have black witches and white witches. They're people that only do good. Okay. And sometimes you will cross your path with certain people. Ladies and gentlemen, do not sell your soul to help another person not to clear their karma, because everyone has to clear their karma. The only people that doesn't have karma is star seeds and crystalline and rainbow kids. We don't have karma, because we have already gone through that stage of karma, and we came back on this planet to help humanity to ascend and elevate their frequency and energy. A lot of you. I'm just asking because, you know, a lot of tourists is down there and you're being upset. But you have to understand, Jamaica is an island in the middle of the bloody Caribbean Sea. You know, you can't take a train to somewhere else or take a flight out. You know, when it's locked down, it's locked down. It's an island. Okay. And, you know, all the things that you guys have to say, you have to understand that these people do not have a job because most of the hotels, most of the stuff, there was shark. There was a lady who was filming the shark swimming in. It's a bloody island, ladies and gentlemen. These people can't do anything because maybe their family house is blown down or something like that. And that was my thing when I woke up, because we're 6 hours ahead of Jamaica. So when I woke up for work and I think, let me check my telephone. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know, okay. So yeah. So today the aliens are going to be landing. Yeah, today I have to go vote. And then this happened. This is a devastated. And I am I am like cold. People think I'm cold, but I'm not really cold. I am realistic. But seeing the devastated situation, because I started seeing, and the thing about Jamaican people is that they laugh about everything. You know, basically, you know, they laugh about everything. And, you know, it is just so funny because a Jamaican person, or if you know Jamaicans on a whole, they're always making joke. You know, they have a nickname and that sort of a thing. But they were laughing because they were, you know, a lot of people were like, you know, I'm not really going to buy up anything because it's not coming. And then I started to worry because when I recognized that the win, I was watching it. I watched it on all different television. I watched it on American television. I recognized the wind is not breaking. And I'm like, okay, this was man-made. Because normally when a hurricane, when a storm is formed in the Caribbean Sea, because it's warm, it kind of break down and kind of lose its speed when it's getting to the islands for whatever the reason is. And it has to do with the green trees on the island kind of break the wind, because when it's created in the sea water is hot and then it's cold wind. So whenever it's coming in on the highlands of whatever Caribbean islands it is, because it's Caribbean Sea we're talking about, it always breaks. And I recognize, no, this is like, you know, you're driving a stick shift car or a car with gears and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it just stuck in the 5 just going on the highway within the 5 gear. And I was like, no, this something is very off about this. Not in centuries and years, go check it out. Because I always tell people, don't believe everything I say. Go Google that shit. Ask AI. This was not normal. But all I'm saying, thank God for the casualty. It was not that much casualty to what we know now. Okay. But it will never be the same, especially when the smart city. And I'm, you know, I am proud that they choose Jamaica to be the smart city. But on the other hand, I really, really, really want to ask these people, please use the Jamaicans, train the Jamaicans, okay? Because most of the time what happened is that, or use the Jamaican builders or whatever. There was another thing with the Chinese who was there. And, you know, I was kind of thinking that it's just too close to American backyard. All right. I know the history of that. All right. In the 80s, the Russian wanted to take over Cuba, and Cuba wanted to take over Jamaica, and America had to protect Jamaica. So Jamaica and America has this very, very close relationship. And this is why a lot of people in the Caribbean do not understand. Every Caribbean country has a different relationships with America. And it has to do with the history of before. And if you look at the history of Jamaica and the history of America, it has always been a relationship that is a very good relationship. And I remember, because there was a civil war in Jamaica, and if you're as old as me, a lot of people should remember that in 1979, 80, there was a civil revolution. And then the Russian, because then Fidel Castro was still alive. And I can't remember which American president was that. And they had to put ships around Jamaica. And a lot of people forget that. But that was the time when they asked Jamaican to be the 52nd state on the flag. And the Jamaicans have said no. And now I am really, really seeing, I kind of figure out why. Because politics is a game. And a lot of people do not understand. Politics is a game. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So whatever is going to be happening, and this new city that is going to be built, go check it out. Vision 2030. I'm going to be putting it down in the video. So Jamaica was chosen to be one of these smart cities. I can't tell you if it's good and bad. But changes is coming. And I'm kind of happy that they did it. I see Jamaica for all the years. There is so much changes in Jamaica because of the Chinese who are there. But that also was another thing that, they kind of took over the highlands. But for the rest of you out there, I'm asking each and every one to, keep the people in your hearts, the Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and all of these people in the Caribbean, because it's I told you guys, from November things are going to start happening. Go back and look at my October reading. And sometimes I don't want to be a fearmonger. I don't know. My thing with Corona, when I did the Corona, when I did that reading about Corona, I was in America and I saw it came in JFK and people were sick. And I was like, no, the shit is not going to happen. Don't let it begin in JFK, because that is going to be catastrophes. Because if it begins in JFK, a lot of people in America, it's going to be picking up. And, a lot of people is not aware. You can go and look at your Akashic records. What we call the Akashic records is that a lot of people seem to lose themselves. A lot of people have questions and don't know the answer to all these questions. You have the right to go look at your Akashic records, because these people, that the dark ones that use dark spiritual energy and that sort of a thing, they look at your Akashic records. It is not viable because they get karma, and you're not supposed to access another person's Akashic records, okay? But some people really do it, but they get spiritualist trap, or they get jail for these sort of a thing. So, there's a group of people out there that can't figure out whether I'm on the good side or on the bad side. I guess you will find out soon or enough. I don't have to explain myself to people. I was given a gift and I used my gift in the right way. I don't abuse my gift, okay? Because there is a group of people that is trying to send your witchcraft or your grave magic and that sort of thing. You got to understand. I've always said it. My spiritual rank, it doesn't really matter which lifetime I'm reincarnated in, or which lifetime, my spiritual rank stay the same. Okay, so there are a lot of people that have this hate and jealousy, do not understand things, because I think that people are not educated enough and do not understand certain things. You got to understand, people like us, we don't need to use our powers. We don't need to abuse our powers. We do the right thing, which is to protect humanity. Okay. So I'm going to say to a lot of star seeds, there is controversy, and they're going to be putting out things on the skies and the rest of it and the rest of it. All right. Some of it that you're seeing is because of we live in dimensions. Okay. Just like I explained to a lot of people, there are 13 counterparts of you. So let's say that you're in a relationship, you stop a relationship with someone, you both go your ways. In another dimension, you're going with that person. Okay. The other thing I should say is that what you see and what you think that the hurt is, there is more to the hurt, okay? What you're living in now is not really what the hurt is. You people were put in a containment, as I explained to people, in your projects, okay? We are not the only one on this planet. We are not the only civilization on this planet. This is what you people need to understand. A lot of stuff is going to be happening in Jamaica, especially in this time. I'm asking a lot of people, please support by donating. People are going to be needing clothes. They're going to be needing food. They're going to be needing a whole lot of stuff. I'm not sure if the airport is open, but I know that a group of humanitarian people should have gotten there this morning, so that when the people wake up, they were looking for chefs, so Jamaican chefs who doesn't have any job. They're looking for Jamaican chefs. I know humanitarian help is going. The island will be rebuilt, but my thing, and there are certain groups that make these decisions. As starseed, we don't connect, we don't get involved. Our thing is to protect humanity. A lot of people do not understand that this is a project. All right. And the probes, you guys wanted to know why the probes was in New Jersey. The probes was in New Jersey because New Jersey is an energy point on this earth. And that is the reason why the probe was in New Jersey in December. Okay, because it is, New Jersey is known of the city of flowers. Okay, it is the city of flowers. And it is also the energy point on this earth. Ladies and gentlemen, not all of us that walks around on this planet is human, okay? And it is going to be getting worse and worse because a lot of people are going to be losing their scruples. I think they will tell you guys the truth, okay? At some stage. Today's the 29th. They're expecting that the ships, but the thing about it is that you all are not getting the truth because listen, there's more out there. Okay, I can't even explain because the normal person is not going to be able to understand that we were lied to. Okay, I shouldn't say we because starseeds and other people is aware that it's not what it is. Okay, and whoever these people are that make these decisions, and I'm starting to question a whole lot of things. Why all of a sudden there is, they're telling you guys about that. Well, you guys knew about the ice wall and that sort of a thing. But it is as if, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that some sort of a probe was going to be coming in and that sort of a thing. There are, and we're all protected by the KathyeKaanInc Federation. The KathyeKaanInc Federation is a huge mothership that is placed to watch over humanity. And I don't know if it's a lot of you have ever seen this. It's a face on the moon. There's this guy who was just looking at the moon and found this face, this a huge face looking down on us. Ladies and gentlemen, there is just a whole lot. Start questioning yourself. Start asking AI these questions. Okay? Start questioning yourselves. All right? The truth will come out. I don't think some people is ready for the truth. Okay? I honestly believe that some people are just not ready to really know the truth of what is going on. I think some people just born and just have sex and just have kids and then, that's it, and enjoy and that's it. But you're all projects. You're all experiments. There are controversy about this ship that is coming in, and you can only enter this universe if you have a reason to help humanity. And the Galactic Confederations, you have to get a pass to get the Galactic Confederations. Now, I've been looking at a whole lot of stuff. I spend my time researching stuff. I seek the truth. Some people sit and talk on the phone. I seek the truth. Okay? I go in meditation. I seek the truth. And I do a whole lot of research because I'm always interested in, I prefer not to have a conversation on the phone, and I'm researching something that I find interesting. And with all of what is going on, there is a huge starship that is coming in. It was not a thing there, as NASA said. They knew that it was a starship coming in. And they are saying that, they're coming to pick up us starseeds. I want all of you starseeds out there to question this. Okay? Because who they say is coming on the ship, those people don't like us. I am aware of some of us, especially the spiritual people, or our planet was blown up, and we live basically on a starship. We survive on a starship. And for some of you, whatever you believe, because a lot of you in your DNA is your blueprint. So you know exactly what this is all about. And my question to a lot of people, why would those people come in to pick up starseed? Because they know what we have. Okay? They know that we have a totally different DNA structure. And the other thing is that a lot of you are going to be surprised to know how much ET or different DNA structures that a whole lot of us on this planet has. So a lot of people, because I'm watching a lot of people, getting freaky that, I just heard that I had certain DNA. Yes, you do. Okay. And it is to protect you. So star seeds, do not go in fear. All right, I'm going to do the star seed series, but this is only for my VI and for star seed that needs to know and to protect yourself. You got to understand that people try to fear not knowing the truth. There's different groups that is popping up. You know, be careful what you believe in. Ask your higher self. If you can't go in meditation, ask your higher self to bring you to your own Akashic records. And as I say to a lot of you, I'm staying off camera. I'll see you guys next year. But beginning from November, it's gonna be what? Okay? And star seeds, you know who you are. You know your inner truth. And stay true to yourselves. And a lot of Jamaicans, you have no idea what that island has, and they know. There's a reason why Jamaica is going to be a smart city. Okay, there is a reason why. All I'm asking is that whenever you guys are building the smart city, make sure that Jamaicans are being protected and train them, because they're actually smart people. A lot of people don't know that, but they're really smart people. Jamaica, this is, see this as the turn of the century. Is it for good or bad? There is always changes. And this is, I would have wished I myself could have made the change or make the decision, because I don't think, the decisions that was made, I really do understand why Jamaica, and that's okay. But all that I need is that the people are protected. I think that's all you can ask for. Jamaica, a lot of stuff is going to happen. A lot of awakenness. A lot of you are awakened, but a lot of you are going to be more alert. You're going to be feeling more. Your psychic is going to be coming up. And, let's face it, Jamaican, there was just too many horrible murders and too many horrible. There was a group of people that came in and opened up a portal on the island that should have never been there in the first place. You got to understand, Jamaica has a special energy frequency on the island. So, I know the changes. I know all what is going to be happening in the future, but sometimes changes needs to happen. I am not choosing no side of the game. My thing is about keeping the casualty low, and at least we could have we could have kept the casualty low, because that was what we were all trying to figure out. And when we say we were all figuring it out, is there's a lot of star seeds that connect. We have grids. There are certain people that was placed in certain places in this world, and we create a grid. And we create a grid of energy to hold the energy in place. Okay? So there are certain people that was placed certain places, and Sometimes you ask people, "Well, but why do you live there?" It's a certain reason. We know it in our DNA where we're supposed to be, especially star seeds. We have always known. Okay, we place a special grid. We hold the energy on this planet. So it's sad, but on the other hand, I think nothing will change. And I was really looking at a couple of atlases of how Jamaica, and if you notice, if you put a puzzle back, Jamaica has break off from Cuba. Okay, because if you notice how Cuba is shaped, you can see that that stuck a land break off from Cuba because it doesn't fit to Haiti and Dominican Republic. So if you notice Jamaica, and here is Cuba, and that stuck. It's like a puzzle that separated. So that point cannot connect with Haiti and Dominican Republic. It's actually like Cuba and Jamaica was connected before and it drifted away. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much that humanity is not aware of. And I think people are going to start questioning things. And if I were you, I would question the way that the hurricane and the eye of the hurricane, okay? Because how it went and the speed that it went to, always when a hurricane or a storm is coming into land, it breaks speed. You know, think about on the runway. You're getting up on the runway. Think about a plane where it goes like this and it goes up and then it settles. Okay, that is just like the wind of the hurricane, the way it comes in. But as I said, there were plans that was made for this planet. We are not here to intervene or change the plan. My thing is that, you know, it will never be the same. And a lot of you have to agree to it. There was a lot of stuff that was going on that has to be cleared up, okay? And whenever there are places that needs to be cleared, they always use fire or water, okay? And you guys have to admit it to yourself that there was a whole lot of stuff that was going on that has to be cleared. But the thing that you have to understand is that you need to understand that there is going to be changes, and these changes can have an effect on you in good way, but in bad way. All right. I think a lot of people should really open their eyes and understand something about that area of the Caribbean, that the frequency and energy in that area of the Caribbean is different from the rest of the Caribbean or South America. There is something special around that whole area with Cuba, Dominica, and Haiti, okay, and Dominican Republic. There is just something, the frequency, the energy, the people within that area of the Caribbean is totally different. And whatever the changes that is coming up, I'm asking you guys not to fight against the changes, but try and work toward a better future, even though it's not going to be acceptable. But the casualty was less, okay? And a lot of people do not like changes, but sometimes you have to understand that changes is needed to be done. And it's horrible. You know, my heart breaks to see all of this. I see, you know, sharks swimming around. And that means that it was really, really, really bad. Okay. And I'm thinking about all these people that their houses, they lose their houses, they lose, you know, my heart, my heart just breaks because I don't think, you can see, these catastrophe all over the world, but every time I see it, I'm thinking, but it didn't have to be this way. But sometimes there has to be some sort of a changes. People need to understand that sometimes we need to have some sort of a changes, and sometimes changes comes up on us, and we really need to recognize that these changes comes, and there's nothing that you guys can do to change, because whatever they make the decision, and actually it has its advantage and it has its disadvantage. And I think the only thing, there we go, did you hear that? And I think the only thing is that we need to accept why it happened, the reason why it happened, and think of building a new. There will be help coming in, because there's a lot of help organization that is going to be coming in. Please, people, just don't. And I just don't want you guys to fight. I just, always, America has always helped you guys, and it's not going to change. They will always help you guys, but I just want people to, stay kind to each other. It doesn't really matter, if you never like your neighbor, but this is disaster, and this is devastated. I think it's going to take like a year or 2 years to rebuild. When they come in to build a new city, the smart city, I think, the agreement is already signed. Let it go. So if you just came in on this, there was a vision 2030 where Jamaica is going to be a smart city. I'm really wishing, a lot of you, a whole lot of, that help will come soon. And I know that help is on its way there. I know a lot of families that is all over the world. They're going to be sending help to all the families there. We don't have anyone there, but we decided to help out. I'm asking a lot of people to open your hearts. It is an island, ladies and gentlemen. It is an island. It's so a small island. And it's devastated. It's very devastated. And all of these people who works in the hotel there, a lot of people do not understand that, they struggle. Okay? They really do struggle. And I think that that's why I always go there as vacation, and I'm always staying in a hotel. So I really take these people, and at this time, some of them could have lost their house, lost their, damage in their house and that sort of a thing. Some people just want to get home, but they have to work. So, think about another person. I just think that people just constantly thinking about themselves